I'm loving this filter.
I wish I knew how to use these filters better.
Oh, that's
You
nice.
guys have to show me how to get it.
I don't even
like
know how to do it like you guys. Yeah, I don't even think my hand is long.
That's a little too much. You can do
I
that.
know.
Sinead, we need to borrow your arm for a second.
Yeah, can you
Borrow
take
my arm.
Yeah, can you take a selfie of us?
And then I'm just gonna reach my arm out like you're taking it. I'm taking it.
So you want me to just hold it like this?
Selfie? Is this
Yeah,
like the first? Oh, if it's like this, then I can do it. All right, wait a minute. I can't. I don't know how to do these things without making my hand slip.
Press the button.
I can't do it with one hand. How do you guys do that?
Hold this with your thumb.
Yo,
But now it's crooked.
Yo,
I'm gonna end up dropping.
I'm so practiced with selfies, it's unbelievable.
No.
Oh my goodness.
I need lots of help with this.
Welcome to the dinner table, we gon' talk it out. Serious or playful, fam and friends speaking aloud, yeah. He said, she said, we said, that's what we about. Family talking together, listening to every member, yeah.
Ooh, this chickpea and vegetable pot pie is about to be so good.
I love pot pies.
Me too. Cauliflower has had a real come up lately.
How's that dough coming along?
It's coming along.
It's coming along.
It better be more than coming along. That's the best part.
I still want to eat too much because I need to keep a flat stomach for when I record my workout video after.
Why can't you show people the bulge?
Not for a fitness trainer.
I think that actually helps people. For a fitness trainer, if you show that, you know, that you still bloat sometimes and stuff, then people won't feel bad about, like, how they bloat.
Okay, but does that get the likes, though?
What's going on here? Why are we talking about
right?
likes and people validating how you look?
I feel like I'm the complete opposite. I'd rather just be done up and just, you know, look my best, you know, because it's just who I am. And I get really self-conscious about myself online.
The thing is, with so many people online and constantly seeing new faces every day, it's very easy to compare yourself.
Do you have any struggles with comparison or no?
At this point in my life, I don't. I think that I've developed, like, my self-confidence to the point where I'm confident with how I look now, you know?
Really?
But I would say when I was 16, definitely.
You know, I feel like now in social media, I have to say it has become more popular to actually show your realistic self.
For me, it was more comparison with my skin tone. You know, I would get a lot of backhanded compliments, like phrases like, oh, you're so pretty for a dark skin, or they would point out like, oh, you know, you two older ones are darker than your younger ones. I try not to get that to bother me, but then I would try to compare myself like me and you, like social media, like, oh,
Would it make
she
you
has more
insecure?
likes.
It would make you insecure?
Yeah, like, oh, she has more likes because of, you know, your skin tone, or I have, you know, less of a following because of, you know, how the way I look. I would feel bad for a moment, but then, you know, I just remember how much you love me and how much I am, and how much we're different, and it's beautiful that we're different.
Well, it's colorism. At a certain point, it's colorism.
Right.
Colorism is a byproduct of colonialism. And so when you have Eurocentric standards of beauty, like a straighter nose or possibly thinner lips or certain cheekbone structures.
Have you struggled with any body image?
I'm 6'2" now, and I was more like Shiloh's height or even shorter when I was his age.
Really?
And I didn't get to 6'2" to my full height until I was in college, university.
which is
I
crazy.
was 20 when I had my last growth spurt.
But like men your age, do you think that they're self-conscious still?
I think society does not put the same standards on men.
Men do get self-conscious about like their weight, height. So I just gotta be really just confident in myself and really more patient.
I think image is really connected to a lot of opportunities. You know, I think you get treated differently if you look a certain way in work.
You ever feel like you got treated differently?
When I started having kids, I gained a bunch of weight, but prior to this, I was very slim. And I noticed immediately that I was treated like I was invisible.
On our way to school, like back when we were really young, I remember Dad used to say, okay, what's one thing you like about yourself? So it'd be like your nose, your arm, you could say anything. That's really good to instill in your children, like really young, to just be confident in yourself.
Yeah.
And I remember even recently, maybe within the last 2 to 3 years, especially becoming like in the spotlight, that we do the positive affirmations in the mirror, and we say that you're telling yourself, you're beautiful, you're smart, you are confident. Like, because when you tell yourself that, it gets into your psyche, it gets into your mind, you know?
One person defying society's narrow standards of beauty in fashion is tonight's dinner guest, Kellie Brown. Kellie is a trailblazing content creator, influencer, and founder of the blog And I Get Dressed.
Boom.
This looks delicious.
Oh, that's the door. Let me go get it.
Okay.
Hey, Kelly.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks so much.
Guys, Kelly's here.
Hey, everybody.
Thanks for coming for dinner. Have a seat.
Of course.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
Welcome to the Onyx family table.
Excited?
I hope you like vegan food.
I do.
Oh, wow.
All right. All right, so we have a vegan pot pie.
Looks
We have
so
a
good.
cucumber and dill salad, and then an avocado and spinach salad.
Gorgeous. We
yeah.
love a nice homemade meal.
Yes.
Wow. This
Do you
is
cook a lot?
I cook a decent amount. I am a New Yorker, so we tend to be a little not that way.
Did you always eat dinners together as a family?
We generally eat dinner together.
Oh, yeah.
And was
it's really
at
good.
those dinner moments, was it then where maybe you had conversations with your parents about like whatever was happening in school and
Absolutely. I was just very obsessed with my mom. The second she got home, we were like, Mama, hey. She's like, not even one step in the house yet. So yeah, just couldn't wait to tell her like everything that happened all day, like every detail.
It sounded like you were really close to your parents. Did you feel like that you could talk to them about anything?
I was a chubby kid. I'm not like formerly thin. You know, so I think my mom knew from an early age that she had some work to do in terms of like just reaffirming me and instilling confidence and knowing that, you know, confidence comes from several different places. It's not just about how you look. All of the beautiful things that you have to offer as a person have nothing to do with your appearance.
I always feel that, you know, a lot of trauma comes with your parents when it comes to like, you know, body image. And so that's really great that you grew up in a really healthy household.
For sure.
So what advice would you give your younger self about self-confidence?
I think the biggest advice that young me would want to know is that, you know, self-confidence and insecurities aren't singular. Everyone, you know, has these thoughts. Everyone has bad days. Everyone, despite their weight, size, appearance, can tell you what they don't like about themselves.
Right.
I use the analogy like Beyonce can look in the mirror and tell you things that she doesn't like, and we all think she's perfect. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's important to base your self-worth on who you are as a person, and not about your physical appearance can change. You know, can become ill, you can become hurt, those things change, but your character, your kindness, what you have to offer the world, that is yours, and no one can take that away from you.
Did you ever come across any negative experience that challenged this confident mindset?
I think that it's important to understand, especially at your age, is that no one is perfectly fine all the time. No one is perfectly confident all the time, even if you assume that they are. And people, you know, the hurt people hurt thing, people sometimes will try to project their insecurities onto you if they see you being happy with how you look, being a beautiful Black child, your hair, whatever your difference of them is, and they will try to assert their insecurities onto you, but you just have to know that that is not yours.
When did you discover that you had this fashion sense, and when did you decide that you were gonna lend that to the space that you're in right now on social media?
I think I've always been obsessed with fashion. I was into like really clunky shoes. My mom used to call them He-Man shoes. She hated it. She'd be like, I can't with your shoes. And I'm like, get into it. And so it's always been my form of expression. My dad, when I was very little, I was like, how do you get a job? Like, is this prescribed? Like, how does one, how does one come into a job? And he said, find something you love and figure out how to make money doing it. And it was the best advice of my life, because that's when kind of like blogging and just the whole influencer space was coming around. And I thought, I have a point of view. I have things to say, especially as it relates to how style is received and what the fashion industry does and doesn't do for bigger bodies. And so it kind of blossomed from there.
Can you tell us a little bit about And I Get Dressed?
I started And I Get Dressed as a blog, and it was really just kind of a way to capture like outfits and things that I like. And that's why I named it And I Get Dressed, because I like home decor, I like beauty, I like travel. So it's kind of like, I'm Kelly, I do this, that, the other, and I get dressed. And kind of fashion is the exclamation point on all of it. But yeah, it's just become a really fun community where, you know, I make different merch and I create content, and it's kind of just become all of these really fun things.
Do you feel, though, that there are some times where you've lost out on opportunities because of your size?
100%. 100%. Yes, yes, yes. I think that a lot of times you're losing out on opportunities because you're Black, and they think that a cast of 15 can only have one of us. I think that there are opportunities that are lost because of my size based on the way that the fashion industry ignores 60% of the women in this country that are bigger than a size 12. And so there are endless stores that I can walk into and not be able to purchase a single thing, which is silly because it's like business is about money. And I'm like, would you like my money? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, goodbye.
Right.
So it absolutely plays into it. But I think that what we have done, especially as bigger people on the internet, creating this like body positive space, is to kick down doors. We've been here to say and to advocate for people. Like, we want fashion, we want cool things. Like, I want a dress that has blue and orange in it, but they told us we can only wear black, you know? And so we're consulting with brands. We're doing all this work so that people of any size can just happily wear a purple shirt if they want to.
Do you think social media is causing a lot of depression with teens and young people in terms of body image?
I'm sure it does. I'm lucky enough to be old enough to like have lived my childhood without it. And so I'm sure that it informs you guys very differently because you're bombarded with so many images. You're bombarded with kids who are your age. Like, I love that all of you look like children. You know what I mean? You look appropriate to how old you are versus, you know, you see some people, they look very grown up.
Right.
And so, and there's no shame on that. There's nothing wrong with that. However, I think it's important, like, for parents and all of the older people in your life to kind of keep reaffirming you and also giving you the honesty is that none of it is real. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what is your opinion on using filters and apps to change your appearance and everything?
I think that some of the filters can be fun. I think that some of them can be very dangerous. The ones that change your appearance, especially like the shape of your face, your nose, your eyes, I think that, you know, I'm not judging anyone for using them, but for me, I feel like it can really cause dysmorphia and like it can really make you forget what you actually look like. So then when you're not using those things, you're like disappointed in your actual face. And I think that they're all meant to conform into, again, a Eurocentric beauty standard, because there's a filter that I really like that has nothing to do with what it's doing to my face. It just has flowers all around it. So I just think it's cute. But it does something, it narrows my nose and puts this line down my nose.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. I'm like, I want to look like me. I'm just here for the sunflowers. You know what I mean? So
What can we do to help stop body shaming and just make it that people don't even think about doing that anymore?
I think it starts with like us, you know, not having negative self-talk so that our kids aren't hearing it. That's number one. So, you know, if you're shaming your own body, then that is going to kind of inform how our daughters and sons are, you know, perceiving their bodies. And then also, I think it's super important to, the same way we teach manners, you know, and instill kindness. I feel like fat phobia is one of the last like accepted forms of bias, that it's totally fine to make jokes, or a family, you know, that may not say something racist or may not say something against someone disabled would just be fine making like a fat joke or something. And so I think we really have to think about kindness in a complete way, you know?
Wow, I wasn't expecting that answer. It actually starts with us being kind to ourselves.
Absolutely.
And then we can impact society.
What advice would you give to young people like me to be more confident in ourselves?
I think that focusing on happiness, focusing on joy, focusing on your goals, paying attention to the kind of media that you consume, you know, following accounts where everyone is rail thin, or you're following them not because you think that they are funny or interesting or have a great style,
Just
but
how they look.
you're following them based off their body. Maybe follow accounts that kind of nurture you a little bit more, like they have more substance, and following diverse people, because the more you see people that look like me, the next time you see someone that does, you're not thinking anything but like, oh yeah, she has cool style too, or you know, I think it's just like a slow process of adjusting how and what we consume so that it's not such a narrow view, so that you're only seeing one way to be beautiful.
Right, you're seeing a diverse amount of people.
Yeah.
I really like that. And I know they've heard that before from somewhere.
Yeah, you told us that. Same advice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for dinner. We had such a great conversation.
It was
I hope
so
you enjoyed
fun.
the food.
So good.
Yes. So
We recommend the chickpeas.
yes.
So good.
Yeah.
Hey guys, dessert.
Got desserts.
Ooh.
Peach sorbet.
And then there's some blueberries over it.
Ooh.
Nice.
Thank you.
There you go.
It's so cold.
So about the conversation we had earlier with Kelly, that was a really great one.
She was saying that if you love yourself, it's way easier to love others and to show love to others and be kind to others.
Right.
And that's the first step to get rid of body shaming, when we're kind to ourselves.
I have an idea. Why don't we have some affirmations right now, what we love about ourselves?
Okay.
Okay.
I love my arms.
Great for hugs.
Aw.
Wow, that's so nice.
I would say I love my eyes.
Nice.
I like my hand, actually.
Well, she has an incredibly strong grip.
True. That is so
She
true.
really does. She's really strong.
I like my hair. You know?
I love your hair too.
I also like my sense of style as well. I have a better one now.
I love my face. And I feel like that's something I've been struggling with for a long time, but now I'm really learning to accept myself. And so I love my eyebrows, I love my eyes, my mouth, my nose, just everything about it.
I like my man bun, even though Shiloh doesn't like it.
It's different.
I promised Shiloh that I will wear a man bun to his wedding.
I will ban it in all my events.
Okay, now we need a video of everyone.
Oh, yeah,
of
sure,
us
sure.
dancing.
No, we don't need that.
No, this
Why?
is what you have
Nobody
to do,
needs to
Mommy.
see that.
You have to pretend that there's dancing.
Oh, like fake dancing. I can
Yeah.
fake dance. So we're fake dancing to no music.
Yes.
I feel dumb. I don't think Shasha's doing it.
What are you doing?
Just sitting there doing my own thing.